Yo, welcome back. Today we are going to be analyzing a 17-second fight between two lions and one tigress. Let's analyze.
이미 뛰어봐야 사자파속은 어찌 작은 기회를 놓치리요. 무섭게 공격해 들어가는 아이디. 반격할 여지도 없이 테크노까지 동시 공격.
와, 협공이에요. 야, 물개처럼 변하네요.
Now, first things first, genders. These are obviously two male lions because do I really need to say it? And this is a female tiger. Nevertheless, as I digress, as I be more specific here, this is a fight between one subadult lion, one adult lion, and one adult tigress. The reason why I said he's a subadult lion is because you can see that his mane is not yet fully developed, as when ID joined, you can see that ID has a much more developed mane than the subadult lion. Firstly, I'd like to clear up some things. I've been going around and seeing this exact same clip being played by Tiger fans over and over, and they are complaining that this was a 2v1 from the start. This couldn't be further from the truth. As you can see here, as I have the original footage, again manipulated by Tiger fans, and the other Tiger fanatics who follow the words of other Tigers believe that this was a 2v1 and it was unfair from the very start, whereas this was actually a 1v1 from the start. And the second lion, who goes by the name of ID, he only came in near the ending of the fight, so he barely did anything actually. So really it was just a 1v1 from the very start, and throughout 70% of the fight. It's only coming down to the ending, the lion ID came in and intervened, and then it became a 2v1. But after that, ID barely did anything. All he did was just bit her, and that was about it. He left her. So the whole concept of this being a 2v1 from the very start is utterly ridiculous, because as you can see from the original unmanipulated footage that I have presented to you guys, this you can clearly see was between one lion and one tigress. I'm not denying the fact that this is already unfair because this is a male and a female, but the whole concept here with them bringing up that this was a 2v1 from the start and was a 2v1 throughout the whole fight is completely false. Both the lion and the tiger were fighting for at least 11 seconds until ID came in for just 2 seconds and then just left. Now the objectives for both cats are rather unclear because we only got to see the very starting of the fight. We haven't actually got to see the build-up, which means that they were already fighting before the camera started rolling. But I can say this much, the lion most likely did this for dominance reasons. Seeing as how lions tend to have a way of establishing a hierarchy by nature, this lion, or subadult lion as I should say, more or less didn't like the presence of this tigress being near probably his female or maybe around his comrades. So he attacked her to try and establish his dominance and where he stands. Because if this was a fight to the death, trust me, that tigress would have already been dead already. So this was a fight for dominance, not to the death.
Preview.
Now for species, these are two African lions. Now I know some of you might be asking, lion country, but these lions have skin folds, doesn't that make them Asiatic lions? Well, no. If you paid attention to my last video, you would clearly see that I stated that. To identify an Asiatic lion from an African lion, Asiatic lions tend to have evenly distributed flesh folds, or skin folds I should say, whereas with African lions, when they do have skin folds, it usually goes halfway through the body. It doesn't go all the way up. Now for the tigress. The tigress is a Bengal tiger. She's neither a Siberian, nor a Sumatra, nor any other kind of tiger. She is a Bengal tiger. The reason why she's not a Siberian tiger is because Siberian tigers tend to be a lot more fluffier than Bengal tigers. Or as how I would word it, Bengal tigers tend to be more skin tight, their furs are a lot shorter, whereas with Siberian tigers, their furs tend to be a lot bigger and fluffier. Sumatran tigers on the other hand, they tend to have longer facial hairs, almost looking like manes in a way. Whereas with Bengal tigers, their facial hairs are a lot shorter. For me personally, that's one of the easiest ways to identify certain tiger subspecies, especially with Sumatran tigers. Sumatran tigers tend to have longer, more bearded-like facial hairs, whereas with Bengal tigers, their facial hairs are very, very short. Now, before any lion or tiger fan complain that these two don't have canines or one or the other don't have canines, the lion clearly does have canines, so does the tigress. So there's no complaints there. Since we've gotten those out of the way, we can finally analyze the fight now. of the beginning of the fight, you could see that the sub-adult lion was the aggressor, thus tackling the tiger. They both clashed, and the lion easily overpowered the tigress, thus thrashing her to the ground. And from this point on, things weren't looking that good for the tigress. He started attacking the upper body or the upper chest area of the tiger, and then started biting near the elbow area of the tigress. And you can clearly see that the lion was the one in control here, literally just grabbing the tiger and just thrashing her like a rag doll. Whereas the tigress during this time was desperate to try and get out of the lion's hold, but was unsuccessful. She was attacking the thing that was literally putting her at a disadvantage from the very beginning, which was the mane. She tried biting, scratching the mane, but to no avail. She was very unsuccessful in all of her attempts until ID came, and that's when the lion ended up letting go. She even tried to attack ID, but was also unsuccessful in that as well, and completely missed. ID the lion only intervened for about 2 seconds, biting her on the rear end, and then biting her again, and then ended up leaving her. So really, this was a horrible matchup because this was between two different genders with two completely different strengths. So for the most part, it was a 1v1. It's only coming down to the ending of the actual fight, it became a 2v1, but only for a very short period of time. Even if ID didn't intervene, the sub-adult lion was still the dominant one in this fight. Upon further inspection of the video, you could see that the tigress was actually afraid during this encounter. And I'm not talking about when ID came, she was actually afraid during the fight with the sub-adult alone. When I slowed down the footage here, you could see the urine actually spraying across the camera, and again you could actually see her urinating here again. But what does urinating during a fight actually mean? Now you see, when cats urinate during a fight, during times of extreme stress, a long list of physiological changes occur to optimize fight or flight mode, including the tightening of muscles and relaxation of bowels control, which can lead to cats getting so scared they pee or defecate during dire situations. This doesn't only happen to cats, but to other animals in the real world. Here's a good example of a buffalo encountered with 3 African male lions who are about to devour her, and this is a perfect example that shows that she was definitely afraid of their presence. So this gives us the indication that this tigress was in fact afraid, fighting the sub-adult lion. Now obviously the winners of this fight would obviously have to go to the lions, but considering the fact that this was between a female tigress and a male lion, not just one lion but 2 lions to be more specifically, one sub-adult lion and one slightly more mature lion. So I can't shy away from the fact that this is an unfair fight, but you also can't deny that the lion was the one who was victorious. Now for me personally, I won't count this as a genuine win for a lion against a tiger, because as I said, this is unfair from the very start because this is between 2 completely different genders. So it shouldn't be counted as a genuine win for a lion.